Good evening, I'm Andrew Chang. Adrian is away. Tonight, for tracing and testing, new money and a new strategy.
I think that we'll get a lot of people abusing that, which is concerning.
Can Ontario push back the second wave? A closer look at long-term care homes.
What concerns did you have?
Not being prepared, and that something very ugly was coming.
Why inspections became less intense before the pandemic hit.
Nothing but a litany of recycled Liberal broken promises.
Parliament's back and the debate is on. And as cases rise, so should these.
There's just a bit of a laissez-fairness with the masks now.
Calling out slipping behavior and masks. This is The National. With the second wave gaining momentum, the urgency is growing to stop COVID-19 from shutting down this country again. But determination is meeting doubt. Just take a look at Canada's resurgent curve, and you can understand where the alarm's coming from. More than 1,000 new cases daily for 8 straight days. And consider this. Have a look. July 1st, 267 cases. Today, 1,341. 5 times the infections and expected to climb. Today, health officials and political leaders stressed the urgent need for more testing, with some putting up big money to make it happen.
We're investing over $1 billion in expanded testing and contact tracing. Folks, I want to reassure you, no one who needs a test will be turned away.
For the 5th time in a week, Ontario posted more than 400 cases today. So with doctors warning that COVID will spread dramatically without an aggressive approach, Katie Nicholson looks at the challenges and changes in the province's new testing plan.
Ash Lambert had one thought when he saw this line.
Shit.
But now he's leaning into it. He's even ordered a snack.
There you go, good luck. Thank you so much.
And he's happy with new rules on who can join him in this line.
I think it's really going to reduce the wait times and make getting yourself tested a lot less risky.
Starting tomorrow, Ontario asks that only certain people line at testing sites. Those with symptoms, those who have come into contact with someone with COVID, and those considered high risk. Everyone else is encouraged to make an appointment at a pharmacy. After months of encouraging everyone to get tested, the Premier acknowledges this is a bit of a shift, but says it's just temporary until Health Canada approves a saliva test.
Until we get those rapid tests, the health experts are telling us that we need to be more strategic with testing.
This epidemiologist agrees.
Until we get enough capacity to do sufficient surveillance testing, we have to reserve these diagnostic tests for the symptomatic cases. It's the right move, unfortunately.
The move creates 2 streams, people with symptoms and people without. But officials acknowledge it relies on the honor system.
We're not going to be asking the assessment centers to police. And so when people come forward, we are asking all of the public to respect that this is what we need to do. This is what we're going to need to do to protect the most vulnerable.
These food industry workers like the idea, but question whether people with symptoms will skip the line and go to pharmacies and expose shoppers.
It's just a really condensed, busy space, and I think that we'll get a lot of people abusing that, which is concerning.
A risk the province is willing to take to get lines down and testing up. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.
In Quebec, health officials offered a clear and simple message about social gatherings today. Avoid them.
I would prefer canceling a lot of those in the next few weeks to make sure that we have a nice Christmas.
It's going to be cold to be outside doing things, so I think it's normal that that's the right time. I think so.
With almost 600 new COVID-19 cases today, Quebec has a rapidly closing window to stave off another emergency. Gatherings are still permitted in small numbers, but officials want people to avoid meeting anyone outside their households. Now, against that backdrop of a deepening COVID crisis, today the federal government began selling its new plan to get Canadians through it. But as always, there is politics at play, and the opposition is on the attack. Here's Salima Shivji.
A day after laying out his government's path out of the crisis, the Prime Minister set about defending it.
Every step of the way, we had Canadians back.
Against the opposition's assessment.
Nothing but a litany of recycled Liberal broken promises that leaves countless numbers of people behind.
Justin Trudeau accusing the other side of playing politics.
And the Conservatives would rather vote for an election right now rather than support people.
While doing some politicking of his own to stay in power, immediately tabling legislation that boosts benefits for some Canadians who don't qualify for EI and are out of work because of the virus.
With $500 per week for up to 26 weeks.
$500 instead of the original $4.
It's more generous in the amount to what we talked about a month ago, and we have been working with the other parties.
The bill also includes paid sick days, seemingly satisfying two key demands from the NDP to keep this Liberal minority alive in the coming confidence vote. But the NDP won't commit just yet.
Things are looking good. If they work out, then we will be prepared to vote for this proposal, this piece of legislation, and then we will advise you as the next votes come up.
The vote that could bring down the government likely won't be for another week, and there's more dissent. The premier's upset about what they didn't hear in the throne speech. Billions of dollars more for healthcare.
We were disappointed not to see any increase with the Canadian health transfers that were in desperate need.
Every premier across the country, coast to coast to coast, has identified this as the #1 priority, and yesterday it was ignored.
And so with infections again on the rise, so too the political temperature and pressure on the minority Liberals navigating a pandemic. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now, Salima mentioned the new legislation tabled today. It's called Bill C2, and it includes measures for transitioning people away from the Canada Emergency Response Benefit, which ends this weekend. It includes a new 2-week sick leave benefit for workers who are ill or need to self-isolate. There's also one for people who can't work because they need to care for someone else. Now, Alberta's premier lashed out at the federal government today over what he says was a failure to acknowledge the oil and gas sector in the throne speech. Rafi Boudjikanian has that part of the story.
It was a fantasy plan for a mythical country that only exists apparently in the minds of Ottawa Liberals and like-minded Laurentian elites.
Left out of that plan, the Premier says, is Alberta's oil and gas industry.
All we are asking of the Government of Canada is to let this province and our resource industries to get off their knees.
Green energy was mentioned in the throne speech as part of the plan to create jobs, and that has some in the industry cautiously optimistic.
Oil and gas was recognized, that the innovation that we can bring to the broader challenges that the government's putting forward on net zero is something that they are looking for us to take a leadership role.
Some big players in the industry are shifting towards renewable energy. BP saying demand for fossil fuels may have peaked last year.
Solar and wind are dueling to be the cheapest new sources of energy money can buy.
This energy transition expert says it won't be long before other players join in.
The return on investment is better financially, #1, and #2, in the long run, it'll be the only return on investment.
But conventional energy employs nearly 1 million people in the country. This nonprofit says retraining them could cost about $10 billion.
This is the magnitude of spending that you need to bring to the table at these extraordinary times.
Throne speeches don't have dollar figures, but the government has promised a fall fiscal update, something Kenny and other premiers say they eagerly anticipate. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Edmonton.
CBC News has learned details of the federal government's plan to help out airlines affected by COVID-19. And as you'll hear from David Cochran, the focus is flights to regional airports.
When COVID hit, few sectors felt the economic pain as quickly and as deeply as the airlines. Empty planes, canceled flights, some routes in rural Canada suspended indefinitely.
Canadians should not be isolated one from another. And it's a job for the federal government to keep that connection a reality.
So a plan hinted at in the speech from the throne to rebuild some of those canceled flight paths, which the Economic Development Minister says will include subsidies.
Well, many other countries in the world go ahead and support their regional routes through subsidies, including the U.S. So we want to find a way to work with partners to make sure that there can be that internet connection.
The specific details need to be worked out, but the broad goal is to fill gaps, like those left when Air Canada indefinitely suspended 30 regional routes and closed stations at small airports across Canada. That could mean working with Air Canada or other regional carriers.
We'll be talking with every player in the sector, but at the same time, this needs to be a solution that makes sense.
This won't be the solution to all of the airline's problems, where passenger numbers are down 94% and where a second wave and quarantine laws make travel difficult. To this point, the government has resisted calls for sector-specific aid packages, focusing instead on credit and broadly applied programs like the wage subsidy. But the throne speech suggested that too will change and that more specific help for the travel sector is on the way. David Cochran, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now, whether it's on a plane, in a store, or at a social event, we've heard again and again how wearing a mask is one key to preventing the spread of COVID-19. And with the dramatic rise in cases, there are growing calls for Canadians to wear them even more. Lauren Pelly explains.
Mark Hansen helps manage this Toronto video store. He says most customers now wear masks, but not always properly.
I think a lot of people tend to put a mask on and think it can go under their nose or sag down, or they can keep taking it off and drinking coffee.
And it's happening more often.
There's just a bit of a laissez-fairness with the masks now.
Wear a mask as often as you can, in as many places as you can, for as long as you can.
Especially when you're with people you don't live with.
That was the message from Toronto city officials this week, calling on residents to wear masks more, not less.
The recommendation comes amid rising cases of COVID-19 across much of the country and widespread public support for mask wearing. One recent online survey found 83% of surveyed Canadians feel governments should mandate masks in all indoor public spaces, while 87% believe wearing one is a civic duty.
I think we all need to be accountable to say, okay, this is just part of our normal lives.
Many medical experts agree Canadians should be keeping their mask on around anyone outside your household.
If it's an indoor environment and you can't get that good 2-meter space all the time, think about wearing a mask, even if it is family members.
That applies in crowded outdoor settings as well. Keep your mask on longer at a patio, right until you eat or drink, or when you make those quick trips to a nearby store.
If all these people are coming in and not wearing masks or wearing them below their nose, that puts these people at risk.
People like Hansen and his team.
We need to keep things as clean as possible for the safety of our staff and of the customers too.
These little pieces of fabric are just one tool to help try and stop the spread of COVID-19. Lauren Pelly, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, there's mounting evidence confirming what many have been saying for months. COVID-19 has hit Black Canadians at a disproportionate rate. Now, from within the community, a concerted effort to find out why. Vicadopia shows us.
A block party for our times. In Toronto's COVID hot zone, where Black people are the largest population group and infection rates are high, people are encouraged to come out of their apartments to get tested.
It decreases that anxiety. It helps people feel comfortable.
There's good reason to be anxious. Data from the U.S. show visible minorities are more likely to test positive for COVID-19 than white Americans. No such research is available for Canada, so visible minorities don't know their risk level. But data from Toronto Public Health is revealing. Less than 10% of Toronto identifies as Black, yet they represent 22% of cases, while whites, who make up almost half the city, account for 17% of cases.
What is less clear in the Canadian context is why.
This infectious disease doctor plans to find out with widespread antibody blood testing in Ontario's Black communities to learn who's already been exposed to the virus and discover who's most susceptible.
And how measures ought to be ramped up or directed at minimizing the risk of further outbreaks within certain communities based on the risk factors that we identify.
But finding Black volunteers to give blood for science could be difficult. So says this local leader. There are several historical and cultural reasons why Black communities sometimes avoid the healthcare system in Canada.
There's a lack of, truthfully, in those communities, lack of doctors. There's a lot of walk-in clinics, and then the emergency doctor becomes the family doctor, which is not the right way to do it because there's no history, there's no trust.
So Shaw is trying to build that trust in the project by encouraging people to sign up, just as he has.
No, it wasn't bad. It's just like when you get
Vicadopia, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, tensions continued today in southwestern Nova Scotia over a recently disputed lobster fishery. But as Kayla Hounsel shows us, the roots of the conflict run very deep, and the effects could ripple across the country.
This is the first lobster landed in the Sept First Nations self-regulated fishery. The commercial season is currently closed. It's been a week of turmoil as Indigenous fishers and non-Indigenous fishers clashed. Mi'kmaq fishers say their traps were cut.
And what has happened in the last week has been, very disgraceful.
Today, commercial fishers not cutting traps but continuing to patrol on the water.
Simply to send the message to government that we're still there and we're going to continue to be there.
The Supreme Court of Canada acknowledged the right of Indigenous people to fish for a moderate livelihood 21 years ago. But the court also said that was subject to government regulation, and so far, there are no rules. The fisheries minister at the time says it's not in the interest of anyone for this to go back to court.
When you bring all this back to the court, you're going to make decisions probably that's going to impact everybody, all fisheries, unintended consequences that could give even bigger problems in our ability to manage it for economic and social good for all of Canada. So hopefully we don't have to do that.
And I think you're going to see more of this.
This Mi'kmaq lawyer says all Indigenous groups are reasserting their right to resources, moose in Ontario and the freshwater fishery in Manitoba, for example.
And there's lots of other ones that are working their way to the forefront all across the country, and rightfully so, because they have the legal rights to do so and have been excluded for so long, we don't even get the right to benefit from our own territories.
The Mi'kmaq say their message for commercial fishers, back off.
They need to be mindful that they have a season coming up, and if they keep taking our traps, we'll be out there looking for their traps.
The federal government is calling for calm and pledging to ensure treaty rights are implemented. Kayla Hounsel, CBC News, Halifax.
Well, when the House of Commons resumed today, parliamentarians took the opportunity to pay tribute to former Prime Minister John Turner.
He believed fiercely in the values that make us who we are as Canadians. Values like treating everyone with dignity and respect, and always being willing to stand up for what is just and right.
Our democracy is as good and as strong as the caliber of representatives that Canadians choose for themselves. John Turner was an exemplary public servant, and he will be greatly missed.
To Canadians who shared their stories this week of a man who remembered their names years after first meeting them, of a politician who inspired them to get off the couch, of an adversary without a shred of malice in his heart, the John Turner who comes through is one who always had more interest in being a person than he ever had in being a portrait.
John Turner died on Saturday at the age of 91. A state funeral will be held on October 6th in Toronto. Well, Donald Trump was booed today while paying his respects to Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Up next, how the fight over the future of the bench is fueling an already explosive election that could be decided by the court. And a CBC News investigation into dozens of warnings and repeated violations.
Something very ugly was coming.
What the Ontario government knew before 70 people died at Orchard Villa Care Home. And a helping hand turned into a new house.
What I love is kind of how that snowballed together.
We're back in 2. This is the scene at the U.S. Supreme Court tonight, where Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is lying in repose. Thousands of people have come to pay their respects over the past 2 days. Tomorrow, she will lie in state at the Capitol, the first woman to be granted that honor. Now, the U.S. president is determined to name Ruth Bader Ginsburg's replacement as early as this weekend. In a moment, we'll show you how her death could be a lightning rod for voters in the coming election. But first, Susan Ormiston looks at a dramatic pre-election move from Donald Trump.
President Trump booed as he stood behind the casket of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Anger that Trump wants to install a new justice now before the election in order to rule on the result.
I think this will end up in the Supreme Court, and I think it's very important that we have 9 justices.
Trump upped suspicions about a rigged election again today.
We have to be very careful with the ballots. The ballots, that's a whole big scam. You know, they found, I understand, 8 ballots in a waste paper basket. We want to make sure the election is honest, and I'm not sure that it can be.
Pressed yesterday, he set off a chain of reaction.
Will you commit to making sure that there is a peaceful transferal of power after the election?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots, and the ballots are a disaster.
Republicans have had to tamp down the president's words again.
It's going to be peaceful. This nation is designed that way. This nation will have it that way, and that's exactly what will take place.
So why won't he say that? Why won't the president say that?
It's exactly what the president has said before. There's no concern.
But the president hasn't said that, and there are mounting concerns about the vote on both sides.
He is lining up a variety of arguments, from mail-in ballots being cheated to the idea that we can't really know who's going to win, and we can't really have a peaceful transfer of power. Wink, wink.
We're going to win 4 more years in the White House.
Trump is speaking in code, Rubin says. The message, if he loses, don't trust the result. Trump is casting doubt. On the same day, the FBI director testified the agency has not seen any kind of national coordinated voter fraud in any major U.S. election, and no evidence so far this time. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Washington.
And now to the politics playing out over the vacancy left by Justice Ginsburg. As Paul Hunter tells us, her death and the Republican push to replace her are motivating voters on both sides of the fray.
So Article 2 of our Constitution says the president shall nominate justices of the Supreme Court.
Saturday night in North Carolina, and with Donald Trump's pledge to quickly replace liberal Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg with a staunch conservative, the crowd erupted. Fill that seat, they chanted.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to fill the seat.
But as Trump now moves on that, the big question, what does it all mean in the race for the White House?
And I believe voters are going to make it clear they'll not stand for this abuse of power.
Joe Biden is among those who believe it's Democrats who'll benefit.
I think this is an energizing point for many sectors of the Democratic electorate. And
Democratic strategist Leah Daughtry underlines that since the death of Ginsburg, party fundraising has gone through the roof. In less than a week, it's pushing $250 million.
The Republicans always outraise us, and this is the first time that we've outraised a sitting Republican president, so it is really stunning.
The money is pouring in right now.
Shaniqua McClendon with the Democratic group Crooked Media told us she can hardly believe it.
If it's any indication of what Democrats are willing to do, they're willing to do a lot.
But, say Republicans, hang on a second.
Donald Trump and the Republican National Committee are definitely fundraising on the fact that
party strategist Jay Shabria says it cuts both ways. He underlines turning the U.S. judiciary more conservative matters to Republicans a lot. It was a key promise 4 years ago from candidate Trump.
He has largely delivered on that promise to conservatives, and they're going to reward him for it because they're going to come out because of this.
On Capitol Hill this week, as Ginsburg lay in repose, countless came to walk past and, no doubt, to consider the implications of all of it. Among them, a mom from nearby Virginia who gave us her takeaway with an eye to November.
All of us who are able to vote and eligible to vote need to vote. That's the most important thing for November 3rd.
A visceral reminder, we're told, that voting matters. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
Well, next on The National, a CBC News Marketplace investigation into what the government knew about one Ontario long-term care home before COVID-19 killed 70 people.
They're obviously not equipped, not paying attention, or don't care.
Dozens of warnings, repeated violations, then comprehensive inspection programs were cut back. Don't go anywhere. In the first wave of this pandemic, the virus mounted a relentless attack on long-term care homes. That's where more than 80% of Canada's COVID deaths happened. In yesterday's speech from the throne, the federal government called that a tragedy, promising to work with provinces to set out national long-term care standards and to amend the criminal code to punish anyone who neglects seniors in their care. But COVID-19 didn't just create issues in long-term care facilities. It exposed some that were already there. CBC News Marketplace analyzed more than 30,000 violations documented by government inspectors before the pandemic. Here's David Common with what they show.
This is Orchard Villa calling to provide an update. We understand you may have seen the media coverage this week regarding our long-term care community and that you are concerned about your loved ones.
As the pandemic entered its deadliest phase, robocalls were the only source of info from inside Orchard Villa.
We have asked for assistance from our local health care partners to address our staffing issues.
More people would die here than anywhere else in Ontario, but we can reveal the home was already among the most problematic before COVID hit. Dozens of warnings from government inspectors, year after year, violations repeated.
Well, good afternoon.
With COVID, Ontario's premier promised it would be different.
We're putting an iron ring of protection around our seniors, especially those in long-term care.
But more than a year earlier, the Ford government ended its most detailed surveillance of nursing homes called Resident Quality Inspections, or RQIs.
They are very detailed. They take a long time, they take a lot of staff, and they're expensive. Under this government, they've decided to look at complaints and critical incidents.
And that, says lawyer and elder advocate Jane Meadis, left care homes further weakened just before the pandemic.
Am I right in saying the government has moved from a system where they proactively looked to see if there were problems in a place to one that only responded after the problems happened?
That's correct.
And now, CBC News has learned the government's own documents from 2015 warned the since-cancelled inspections were up to 5 times more thorough than what's replaced them, and were much more likely to identify infection control problems. Their cancellation, critics warn, left homes unprepared for what happened next.
Once you got inside Orchard Villa, what concerns did you have?
Severe concern by the nursing staff.
What were they concerned about?
Not being prepared, and that something very ugly was coming.
Nurse Kathy Legier is an infection control expert. She volunteered to come out of retirement and was hired on at the home to help.
When you saw that some people were going to get sick in rooms where others weren't, what did you suggest and what did they do?
When COVID first dangled its toe in Orchard Villa, it was in a 4-bedroom. And so immediately my thought is, you've got to get that patient out.
But Kathy says management ignored her warnings.
So it didn't happen?
It didn't happen.
So
2 days later, the infectious person was still in with the other 3 who were now positive as well. No big surprise.
In the year before COVID, with detailed inspections eliminated, we can reveal infection control violations dropped dramatically by 68%.
We are seeing fewer violations that are being caught because the complaint inspections requires a resident or some other person to make a complaint. Is the home really going to tell on itself? They don't. And we see this over and over and over again. So there is nothing being done to proactively prevent homes from going down a bad path.
The government's new inspections are uncovering nearly 1/3 fewer problems overall. And when problems aren't found, they can fester. So we're taking a detailed look inside Orchard Villa once COVID hit.
At the time when they called me, I could hear her like moaning and yelling in the background.
Bryce Russell got the call in the middle of the night. His mother Lorraine inside Orchard Villa had fallen.
Found her on the ground, pillow between her knees, head up against the bed.
She's injured, sent by ambulance to hospital.
The doctor was telling me that mom was now malnourished. Her prognosis wasn't very good.
Why hadn't staff noticed? Under the more detailed inspection regime, the home had been told to shape up.
They've actually been cited, warned by the ministry 7 times over just 4 years. April 2016, resident not transferred to hospital after a fall until the next day. July 2015, family of a resident not notified of a fall with injury until about 7 hours after the decision was made to transfer that person to hospital.
Yeah, exactly. So they're obviously not equipped, not paying attention, or don't care.
He and Kathy Legier are among many families and staff now suing Orchard Villa over its actions and inactions. As the death toll climbs inside Orchard Villa, the military is called in and reports caregiver burnout amongst the overwhelmed staff. And at Orchard Villa, they'd had problems for years.
What can you tell me about the conditions at Orchard Villa before COVID?
Before COVID, staffing-wise, we're always short.
We're protecting the identity of this Orchard Villa staffer.
A typical shift we have in the morning, if you don't have enough staff, you have to call the supervisor to tell them you're short.
How often is that happening?
Often.
Really? Like?
Almost every day.
Almost every day you're short-staffed?
Yeah.
Why did it take the military going into these 5 homes to highlight these problems?
I know that there was a crisis. It took the military to be there 24/7. That's when you find out there's cracks in the system, by living the system around the clock every single day.
Should politicians be shocked by what they're seeing?
The politicians should not have been shocked. The premier should have known these things were happening.
Should have known because Orchard Villa had been cited for 148 violations in 5 years.
The ministry inspectors found problems in 2015, grime in washrooms, cobwebs, dead bugs, dirty beds and seating. And then those same things, those same violations are repeated the next year and the year after that. Does it surprise you?
No, and those are harsh findings. But at the end of the day, if an infraction notice has no teeth, what's your motivation to change? If it's going to cost you money to change.
What about the motivation to save lives?
That should be forefront.
In a statement, Orchard Villa, run by Southbridge Care Homes, says they've hired a new dedicated recruiter to address staffing challenges, adding new expertise to strengthen infection prevention and control initiatives, but won't discuss specific experiences for the privacy of our residents.
Meanwhile, the province tells us every home is inspected at least once a year, though since the cancellation of those more detailed inspections, the frequency and intensity of reviews is now determined by risk. So something has to go wrong at a home before inspectors show up.
A lot went wrong at Orchard Villa, and Kathy tried to speak up, but says her advice was ignored.
Not having someone with your expertise in there, did that cost lives?
I think I could have significantly helped soften the blow. Sorry. And later at home watching it on the news, I just wanted to be there. I just wanted to be there and be helping. It's all I wanted to do. Yep.
Seeing problems, but helpless to change them, and the pandemic still looms, swelling cases, threatening care homes once more. David Common, CBC News, Pickering, Ontario.
Well, next on The National, claiming and transforming the place where George Floyd was killed.
That man has yet to receive justice. This neighborhood has yet to receive justice.
Susan Ormiston goes back to Minneapolis for a look at the future of a movement. In Louisville, Kentucky, there is a citywide lockdown and raw anger over the decision not to charge officers for the death of Breonna Taylor. Protests last night led to dozens of arrests and 2 police officers getting shot.
Taylor! Say her name! Breonna Taylor!
Reaction to Breonna Taylor's case continued to flare across the country, including in Washington, outside the home of Republican Senator Mitch McConnell. Breonna Taylor was shot several times by officers carrying out a raid at her home in the state McConnell represents, Kentucky. Moments of outrage were common across the United States this spring and summer, many sparked by the death of George Floyd. In Minneapolis, the spot where he died has become both a protected area of sorts and a place where police are not welcome. Susan Ormiston was there when George Floyd's Square was first named, and she takes us back there tonight.
Sun up and barricaded still, more than 100 days after George Floyd was murdered. Volunteers begin their sweep around a memorial which has grown since the summer.
And we uplifted.
And at the Speedway gas station, like every morning, Marsha Howard begins a meeting.
Let's start with the 4 assumptions of George Floyd Square.
She's one of the key leaders amongst a group of activists who control and protect the square.
And number 4, do not assume that everybody in this square, or even everybody in this circle, has your liberation in mind. There are ops everywhere.
This is sacred space for many. Floyd's final breaths as he called for his mother under the knee of a police officer galvanized the country. But demands for change have not yet been met. And the street is a potent symbol for other black men and women killed by police. So now 4 blocks at 38th and Chicago is an autonomous protest zone that the city can't dislodge.
EMS can come through, firefighters come through, but the Minneapolis Police Department, who summarily executed a man on our city street, they are not allowed, and so they know that they're not welcome here.
Security is meted out by the group, like in August when a white med student sprayed black paint on Floyd's mural. He was caught, let go, but outed on social media. There's tensions now over what to do with the Floyd iconography.
We are talking about memorials and ceremonial plaques and the future. That man has yet to receive justice. This neighborhood has yet to receive justice. You can't memorialize murder.
The 4 Minneapolis police officers charged with George Floyd's death are still awaiting trial, but that won't happen until March. Meantime, the people in this square have delivered a long list of demands to the city, and they won't give up this space, they say, until they're met. Activists are pressuring the city on several fronts, trying to block a new police precinct to replace the one burned down in May. They've won a first round when the city failed to negotiate a space.
When we fight,
George Floyd Square is part of their leverage, and Marsha Howard knows it.
Somebody asked me, hey, how did a 47-year-old mild-mannered school teacher wind up on a barricade? Why here? Why now? Because I have no choice. I have no choice. They killed that man 260 steps from my front door. A child I teach filmed that man's death. Her mama called me. No justice, no street.
But the Floyd Free State, as some call it, is fraying. By day, a place for reflection, but at night there's been trouble.
People have their livelihoods.
Ryan Billig makes food products inside this building, in business here for 6 years.
I don't know if you have noted, but there's last weekend we have bullets flying in the street at night, and this window under here is a hole that went through that poster.
A bullet hole?
Yeah, and the bullet went inside. That went through 2 panes of glass, hit an interior wall, and the bullet was, I found on the floor.
What do you want to happen here?
I want the street to open up. There's a lot of good happening, and I don't want to downplay that.
He just wants to feel safe, he says. Last week, the city officially named this George Perry Floyd Jr. place. But that alone will not break down these barricades. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Minneapolis.
Well, next on The National, we know kids can lose learning over the summer. Now researchers are worried it's much worse.
We can expect the learning gap has increased dramatically during the pandemic.
Combating the learning gap and planning ahead for more interruptions. Right after this.
I'm Josh Block. Tomorrow on CBC's daily news podcast Front Burner, no charges have been brought in the police killing of Breonna Taylor. We'll talk about what that means for ongoing calls for police reform and racial justice. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
It was very, very great. Nervous and excited. It was a bit weird because I haven't seen this many people for like 6 months.
Not only was it a little weird, that long pandemic break before heading back to school also had a lot of teachers worried as well. After all, half a year is plenty of time for kids to forget what they've learned. Deanna Sumanek-Johnson shows us what educators are doing to fill those gaps.
When her children's schools closed in March and educators scrambled to move the lessons online, Anna K. Brown knew she'd have to get involved.
Trying to give your child that support can be 3 to 5 hours at evening hours when you're just returning from work. I may not have that time to dedicate to it. But I would overall say that it wasn't an easy process.
Brown is one of many Canadian parents worried about the learning gap. That's what researchers call the loss of knowledge that normally happens during the summer holidays. This professor says the COVID gap widened existing inequalities.
Schools were closed. Some children had access to technology, so were able to follow the class or follow up their coursework with their teacher, while others were not. So if you think about that, you can expect the learning gap has increased dramatically during the pandemic.
Morning. Prince Edward Island has the most comprehensive plan to address learning loss.
If we are not going to have a full year of learning, what guidelines would we provide for teachers to prioritize at the beginning of the school year? So not only did we compact the curriculum in anticipation of the interruptions, but in some cases we took learnings from the previous year and pulled them into the next year.
Somebody cares when I'm sick.
Teachers will focus on the core skills of math, reading and writing.
Our kindergarten students who are now in grade 1, sometimes we even look at them in kindergarten, grade 1, because they've missed so much, but we can't ignore that.
Until that happens in Ontario, Anna K. Brown is advocating for resources for families in her low-income community.
If that's to join a learning pod, if that is for tutoring, if that is for after-school programs.
Tackling learning loss one kid at a time in the year where education had to take a backseat to safety. Deanna Sumanek-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, next on The National, you know what it's like when one small thing breaks.
If we do that, we have to fix this other thing as well. And it just kept growing to the point where we're like, oh, wow, Jane needs a new house.
So that is what Jane is going to get right after this. Well, this Nova Scotian home may look nice from the outside, but the inside needs a lot of work, more than its owner could afford by herself. And that's when schoolteacher Jane McClare's community stepped in. And though they didn't realize the full extent of the project at first, they have continued to donate their time and services. It's our moment.
This is home makeover, yeah. Fox Point style?
Exactly. We're not rich enough to do the whole reveal at the end. We can't have the mega trailer out there, drive the trailer away. No,
I fell through my deck a couple of years ago and just kept repairing boards, but underneath was really getting rotten. So it started as a deck, and my family were going to come from all over Canada this summer to rebuild the deck. But because of COVID, they couldn't come. So then the church rallied together. And
started off with just a few guys getting together saying, hey, let's redo the deck. And then it was, if we do that, we have to fix this other thing as well. And it just kept growing to the point where we're like, oh, wow, Jane needs a new house.
This is huge. It's very humbling. It's very emotional in many ways. And I'm just very grateful for what everybody has done.
We are very much still in need of help and would love any help we can get.
Yeah, and that's the key there. They're still very much in the thick of it. They think they may be for at least the next couple of months. So they still need more donations of supplies, of services, that sort of thing. But it's amazing what can happen when a community comes together. So good on you, Fox Point, Nova Scotia. That's the National for this Thursday, September 24th. Have a great night.